My name is Neil, and today we're going to be going over this giving voice to values case called Benny and the Jets. This case follows Benny, who works for the Jet Energy Company, and Benny is the accounting manager for a portion of this company who reports to the controller for his division, whose name is Sarah, who reports to Sam, the CFO, who then reports to the CEO, Vanessa. And they also work with Joan, who's the chief compliance officer for the company, who's in charge of making sure they comply with the necessary regulations, which we will get into shortly. The Jet Energy Company is a utility company, and like most utility companies, they're regulated by the state or federal government to prevent them from becoming too much of a monopoly or trying to treat their customers unfairly because these customers rely on their services for necessary parts of life like power or water or these other necessary utilities. Um, and one of these regulations, which is pertinent to this case, is the return on operating income limit that has been placed on Jet Energy Company. The state has told them that they can't go over 12.5% on their return on operating income. If they do, then the state has the option to cut their rates so that they're making less money in operating income. So what Benny found in his searches through the books is he found some irregular accounting entries that indicated that the company was improperly classifying some accounts to lower their return on operating income. So by lowering these returns, they were fraudulently changing their numbers so that they wouldn't be subject to those cuts by the government. And in turn, were basically making more money than they were supposed to be. So what Benny did was for 2 years or so, he kind of let it slide, hoping it would kind of go away and resolve itself. But in the process, after a while, he kind of decided he should probably do something about it because it continued happening. He found it on several occasions. One of the specific ones that were given in the case was that the Jet Energy Company was given rebates by their insurance company for good safety records in their nuclear plants. And because of these rebates, they should have expensed or lowered their expense accounts, in turn increasing their operating income. But instead, they classified these rebates as non-operating accounts, putting them on the statements below operating income so it didn't affect their operating income, inflating their, or rather lessening their return on operating income. So what Benny is trying to decide is how he should go about resolving this issue or bringing forth his concerns to the proper authorities or management. What I would suggest to him first and foremost is using any sort of whistleblower system that's been set up by the company. By using these whistleblower systems, he doesn't have to feel pressured into making the wrong decision or letting it slide, because he can report to the audit committee, which is made up of 3 board of directors, who can then resolve the issue and make sure it goes away and isn't repeated in the future. Some of the things that need to be considered when he's making this decision are what are some of the ethical values that are involved in this case. Mainly it's honesty, because in effect the company is robbing they're making more money than they need to be based on the regulations that have been placed on them. So they're robbing the customers of the money that would have been cut to bring them down to their proper operating returns levels. So in effect, they need to stop improperly classifying these things. And some of the rationalizations that the stakeholders and management of the company might have for doing this would be maybe they don't want to lose out on that income, and they might rationalize, well, if we cut our rates, we'll be making less, and our safety records won't be as good, or we won't be able to operate as efficiently as we have been. But in reality, that doesn't make sense because the rebates that they were receiving would offset those cuts that would be made. So in reality, though, there's really no rationalization that would really hold up, and I feel like Benny or the board of directors in the audit committee should be able to find a resolution for this that would not hurt the company and would put the company back on the right track to be morally and ethically stable in the future.